What's up guys, it's Wendy-Anne. So today I am going to talk about a very important topic. Does social media make you sad? Does it upset you? Is it a place where you're not feeling happy? So let's talk about this. So I tend to find that you're more happy in the offline world than the online world, because the online world is a really tricky world. And especially during my teenage years, I was so obsessed with the online world because that's where you can find beautiful photos. It's like the better version of you. But in the reality, in the offline world, it is not the case. So pictures, if you look at them, they're very beautiful, but I would say just look at them for a specific amount of time. Don't overlook at them. Just look at them briefly, be proud of your results, but then move on and live in the offline world. Because the online world is a tricky world. It's like you can be so happy for a moment seeing the better version of you that you get carried away with it, and then you completely forget about living in the actual world and making other moments in the offline world. I tend to find that applications such as Instagram and Facebook can make someone a bit upset, because sometimes you compare yourself to other people and to other accounts, the number of likes, the numbers of followers, and also you can look at people's stories. And when you look at people's stories, it's good to see how they're doing and everything, but don't overdo it, because you're forgetting about living your own life. So if social media is making you upset, I would recommend just going there for a limited amount of time. I would schedule a time where I go on social media. I know that sometimes scheduling when to go on social media doesn't sound like the correct thing to do, but it is, because like this, you know, you're not going to spend too much time on it and you're going to focus on your work. I would also recommend doing a lot of things in the offline world, scheduling a lot of things that you would do offline, and I think you would be happier as well. Because in the offline world, that's when you can share a laugh, that's where you can have a conversation. Because we live in times when we're on our phones, our computers, especially due to the crisis this year. So I would say the offline world is the world where you're going to be most happy. And I do know that in the online world we use it as an escape, because the offline world can be a bit hard and a bit cruel. So we go to the online world to feel better about ourselves. And also, if we get a text message, we're like very happy if it's positive, and then we go on the online world and we're distracted. So I would say, yes, spend most of your time in the offline world. Just focus on having decent meals, focus on seeing people, focus on your job, working in the offline world and doing what you can. And the more you do in the offline world, perhaps the more you can give into the online world. And then be proud of what you did in the offline world, but maybe just look at your results in the online world, but once or so. Don't overlook at your results. So that's it. Like, also, I think I heard a lot of actors and a lot of people talking about comments. People would tend to read negative comments online, and I think that can be a bit tricky as well, because you feel a bit insecure about those comments, you start doubting yourself, but you should know your own person and your own values. So really, you should believe in yourself, know your worth and know yourself. You shouldn't, focus on other people's opinion, because that is what social media is all about. I used to look a lot at stories. So you've got stories on Facebook, Instagram, and I would look at who looked at my stories. And I think that is really unhealthy, because you're going to think, okay, what is going on in their minds? What are they thinking when they're looking at my stories? Probably it could be positive, probably it could be negative. But I've avoided posting stories. I've avoided Snapchat stories because I wanted to focus in the offline world. There was a time when I was at university, I was over focusing on Snapchat, and I deleted the account because I didn't want to over record my life and show it to people. I wanted to actually enjoy the moment. So I think enjoying the present moment is the best thing you can do, because if you do it online, you're missing out on the offline world. So really, the offline world is the best place. Even if it's cruel, even if it's hard, you have to spend most of your time in there, because your loved ones are in the outside world. And on the online world, they're just behind a screen. And sure, you can Skype, sure, you can Zoom, but yeah, my biggest advice, schedule a specific time of the online world. Make sure it's like, let's say, an hour, maybe 2 if you like, an hour or 2. But yeah, no more than that if you want to go on social media. But if you have to work on your computer, that's a different story. You're putting efforts towards yourself, so that's okay. But also put a specific amount of time, because being too much in front of your computer is not healthy. So offline world, to avoid social media. And know yourself. You have to know yourself, because you know your own values. Really don't focus on other people's opinions. People really tend to do that, but you have to know your own values if you want to lead the best life. Just focus on yourself. Yourself is the priority. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.